What's going on, guys? It's Colby with Heavenbound Music Marketing, back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about why you shouldn't boost your posts from the Instagram app. You know, a lot of people think it's easier, a lot of people think it's going to be more effective, but that's because they most likely do not know about this method that I'm about to show you right here. There's a couple reasons before I dive into why and I show you and break down why this is more beneficial. But the first reason is that the Instagram app, when you boost the post and your goal is to get followers, they're going to charge you a service fee. And that service fee goes up the more money that you put into the boosted post and the more money that you spend per day. This method bypasses the service fee, so that's a huge plus. The second method is how restrictive they are about the audience and the targeting within the app. So I'm going to show you here with this method how to bypass all of that, save some money, and be able to kind of lock in on what's going to get you the most amount of followers for the cheapest amount of spend per day. So first, I'm going to pull up my phone here, just give you a brief kind of overview of what it looks like to boost a post in the app. So I'm going to pick a post right here, click Boost Reel, and then from here, we're going to click optimize mix of actions because our goal here is to promote profile visits and follows. So I'm going to click done. Next, here's where you can kind of build your audience. So I'm going to go ahead and create a test audience right now. You can choose your location. I typically like to stick within the United States as an artist myself. That way I can, target people that are at least in my country. It makes it easier for merch sales, shows, and kind of the bigger picture as an artist. For time's sake, I'm going to just click United Kingdom, go ahead with that. And then you can kind of choose your age group here, minimum age. I always stick with 18. Advantage Plus audience. That's usually up to you and kind of what your goals are. I always turn that off. I like to have full control over who I'm targeting because, like, for instance, I can target people who are into music, right? And I would tend to go a little deeper here, and I'll show you in this method next that, we can get a little deeper with the audience targeting. Age and gender, I try to keep it around my, core fan base age group there, so I'm not wasting money on people that don't want to listen to my music. I would click done, and then from here, it's going to take me to selecting the price, how much I want to put in per day to market this post. This is where I can slide that, and as you can see down here, Apple service fee to be calculated, and that's going to be calculated once I click next and actually push the post. So that's pretty much all the control that you have on the phone, and just to get an idea of how restrictive the targeting is, but it's not really about the targeting, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So here's a little campaign I built for myself. This was specifically to gain followers on Instagram. The cool part about Meta is that you can do an Instagram traffic campaign and, get followers in both your Facebook and your Instagram. Depending on what your goals are, that could be great. I saw a lot of traction on both platforms here. So this is the campaign that I built. But what I did is I just, built a traffic campaign, and then I built it in that shell. So as you can see here, I have 3 different ad sets, and this is a follower campaign. So I called one ad set artist, broad, genre focused. So this is one campaign, and I'm testing 3 different audience targeting angles. As you can see, we can scroll down here, and I targeted some tier 1 countries a little bit outside of the United States, just based off of my current fan base. And I chose some similar artists for this one as far as targeting is concerned. For broad, I kept it broad, right? I didn't, add very many interest groups at all. I kept the age range, the countries, and I left the rest up to Facebook and Meta. And for this one, genre focused, as you can probably tell, I just targeted my genre. So, but we can take a step deeper here. So this is the audience targeting, right? But what really makes this stand out from the app itself is being able to test different batches of your content in order to see what brings in the most amount of followers. So I made very similar batches of content under each audience group, and the goal was to find which audience group and which batch of content matched to bring in the most amount of results for the best price. So in personal, and I'm only going to go through one of these ad sets because they're all the same. You can see I went through and selected more of my posts that were me talking to the camera, more personal, just a different type of content. And then for the performance section, I did more of my performance type posts. So this is where I'm on the microphone, song in the background. And then for this, I did skits. So I have a lot of skits on my Instagram page. So I'm trying to decide which one of these is going to bring in the most amount of followers. And this is what the breakdown looks like. See here, I spent a total of $265 total. This has been running for a couple weeks now. And let's jump in and look at the stats. So as you can see, I turned off these 2 audience campaigns, broad and genre, because they weren't bringing in the results that I wanted to see. Cost per result was a little higher, And as we dig in deeper, you can kind of place your mouse over these dotted line numbers and you can see exactly what's happening. You can see how many followers you're getting on Instagram and how many followers you're getting on Facebook. So some of these, I was getting some good followers on Facebook, but I wanted to optimize this specifically for Instagram. And I built a completely separate campaign for Facebook followers. And we'll talk about that in a later video. But so with this one, I saw, okay, I was getting 56 followers on Instagram, also a decent amount of followers on Facebook, but this was getting me the most amount of traction on Instagram. So after turning both of these off, I went ahead and went with the artist for my primary audience focus. And then the next step was which one of these batches of content was getting me the most amount of followers. Was it personal, performance, or skits? So you have the same ability here to track how many followers you're getting per platform. So as you can see, building it out this way allows you to have more control over your data. It allows you to have more control over your spend, save some money, and then also learn more about your content, which content is bringing you the most amount of followers, how to control it, right? We have a lot of dials here that I can control in order to push the data to where I wanted it. So yep, that's everything I have for you today. adsmanager.facebook.com. Make sure to set up your business profile. Make sure you have a Facebook account attached to your Instagram. And if you're ever interested in learning more about the ins and outs of marketing for music as a whole, and if you're a musician who's kind of lost and struggling with where to start, we've got some more videos in our profile as well as our Instagram. Once again, I'm Colby with Heavenbound Music Marketing. God bless.